All right, it is another beautiful day. We're tackling two important things. It's Windows today. You know how much I love Windows. It always puts me in a good mood. But, as he says sarcastically, we're doing a refactor today of WinUtil, just a slight one. I think the Drift user had some optimizations to help. One with like some of the GUI, kind of a cleanup, because there's some nastiness when you're dealing with the XAML and how we're inputting it all in one string. So a little bit of a refactor on the GUI. And then I had someone reach out to me and say, hey, I'm having trouble logging into my Windows and I need to recover Windows. And I was like, you know what? I saw something online that was kind of funny. I was sitting here and I want to say it was like on old Twitter, dumpster fire platform. Gotta love it. But I saw this. There was a problem with Windows where it wiped out the Linux partition. And I saw this comment about Linux is for virgins. And I was like, okay, well, I'm fine with that if you want to go with that route. But blocking it makes sense from a security perspective on a Windows user. So I couldn't really make this video for YouTube because it would get taken down so fast. But this is a live stream. Catch me if you can. Let's pretend we're locked out of Windows. So we're gonna totally just show you the laughable security of Windows in recovery. Now, this is meant for educational purposes, so let me preface this. And let's say you lock out your computer. You have no way of resetting the password. You have no way of even knowing the user account. You don't know anything about the system other than you can't log into it. You don't know a username. You don't know a password. You don't have an online account. You know nothing. But guess what? It's Windows. Not a problem. So we're going to use an old tool from the olden days, back from the 90s. The old offline NT password registry reset. These are also known as SAM Hive files. Guess what? Everything in Windows was coded by crackheads with no security and super easy to break. So today, let's throw our little black cap on and do a little fun little bit. Here we go. So we'll start off the stream with a Windows thing. We'll lock out our Windows and we'll pretend like we lose everything and then be like, oh, we don't know anything. How do we get it back? I think that would be a fun. So this boot disk, it's been a while since I actually downloaded it. It was last updated in 2014. So over 10 years ago. And guess what? It still works. So if you're going to do it, obviously, if you can put it on a CD, that if you want to go for that route, you can do it. Obviously, USB is probably where you want to go on this one. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to go with this is a bin. So let's just go to the CD so we get an ISO. I feel like that'll be easier to look at. Yeah, let's just grab this, extract it. We're going to just jump right in. We'll put it in our downloads. Cool. Nice. And if we look at this, we're just going to get that CD 1401. We'll call this offline reset. Win offline reset. And we're going to put that in my little images. We're going to load it up. Oh, heck, we don't even need to do it. I don't really do this very often. But anyways, I got triggered by this Windows user that swears Linux is more secure, or Windows is more secure than Linux. And I was like, well, bet. Let's have some fun today. Let's have some fun. Let's just show them what us virgins can do. I think we'll first start off by loading a fresh Windows. And then we'll lock ourselves out. And then we'll reset it. I think that's probably the best way to do this. So we'll have a fresh, brand new version to go off of. And let's, do we have microwin? I think we do. Let's see, what do we have in our images directory? It shouldn't take but 5 minutes to load Windows on a fresh system. And Ooh, do we have that micro one? I did want to look. Yeah, we still have the micro one. I want to say that's a good test right there. Let me just double check so we're not loading the wrong one. Well, let's see. I should have set this up, but oh no, wrong images. Here we go. Micro win. So this one is from 813. This one's 819. Okay, we'll use the 819 micro win. And oh no, actually, shoot, I just deleted that, didn't I? Darn it. Ah, shucks. You know what? Yeah, darn. That's okay. We'll create a new one. We'll start it off. We'll check it out. Oh, there was one called New Micro Win ISO. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cat. Did I miss that? Let's look at New Micro Win. Ooh, not here, but maybe in our downloads. No, didn't see it. I wonder where you saw the New Micro Win. So there was downloads, and then over on images, let's see. Micro Win and new. That's okay. We can create a new one. We'll do our refactor first and see what we got. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was an old version. Yeah, that was just a cached version from we've done. So we've built so many different Windows things. Oh, well, it doesn't take very long. We'll just run the dev version, I want to say. Let's make sure. No, I merged the other one. I wanted to test this anyways. So we're going to do a test of a new install. So first we'll just make our micro win. We'll use the dev branch because I don't know if I updated stable yet or not. And I think the last time we tried to build a Windows ISO on this particular system, I think it was having a little bit of an issue. So we're going to just grab this, load it up. Actually, I should have put that over here. Hey, how's it going, Hikari? Oh, is there a PR for microwin? Ooh, let's check that PR real fast too. And then we'll get going on getting into old Windows, a locked out version of Windows. Tale as old as time. I remember Cable Guy when I had a roommate when I was like, this has been 20 years ago. And we had a cable installation and they put the cable in my roommate's room and I didn't know his login. I didn't know his password. So I just ran this tool, got in, reset his password to nothing and just had it auto log in. The cable guy watched me do it. He was like, damn, okay. It was hilarious. He's like, nah, I'll let you do this part when it's connected to the computer. It's pretty funny. All right, let's look. Coding Wonders said we had a PR for microwin. Let's see. Now there's a whole bunch from Drift User for the refactor. We'll get to that later. I just wanted to see if there was a microwin one first. God, got a lot of good pull requests coming in. Oh, the ISO downloader. That's Drift Users. We're also working on that, so it'll auto download from Microsoft. I don't see that actual refactor. Yeah, I think I got all of the microwin ones done, so I think we'll be okay here. Let's change this. We're not going to inject any drivers. Username, subscribe, no password. And we're just going to start this process. We'll just call this one microwin. Let's put a date though, just so I know when this is made, and we'll save that out. So let's run this. We'll create our ISO, check in with chat, see how everybody's doing, catch up with anything. Is there a reason why we say if the bad actor has a physical access, you are already lost? Yeah, once you have physical access to a computer, there's not too much you can do. I would put a little caveat there. When it comes to security, it's less about the operating system, more about is the drive encrypted. Encryption is very difficult to circumvent if everything's encrypted properly. And I do mean properly. Like BitLocker, there can be ways around it. I wouldn't trust it. But like a Luke's encryption on a Linux drive, good luck trying to get around that. If you like grab someone's laptop that is encrypted, it's very difficult to recover that data if you don't know what the password is or anything. BitLocker's pretty awful. The PR was 2618. Here, we'll take a peek why this is doing it. And see where I'm missing it. 2618. If we look, 2618 would have been right. Oh, here we go. Add automatic configuration setting. Okay, there is one. This PR functionality will let you add your own WinUtil configuration files. On first startup, WinUtil will be launched with parsing a file. Okay, that'd be cool. I could see that. I don't want to expand too much, so I'll take a peek exactly what this does. Maybe. I might not actually want to do it because I want to keep MicroWin very minimal to where anybody and everybody can run it. Accessibility and having just regular users be able to use MicroWin's kind of my goal here. When are you uploading the Arch Titus video? That's already uploaded. So that the Arch Titus refactor, I spent a little over 8 hours streaming that, and it was successful. We got Arch Titus. It's still a little rough around the edges, so it's not ready for like prime time yet, but it does install Arch Linux in 2 minutes, and you will have not necessarily a desktop, but you will have a login and a CLI prompt. So it does get like network manager installed, custom boot menu, the basics that are needed to build a system. And then you could just run the utility and install like DWM and other stuff. We might add, we'll obviously add more to it, but the foundation has been laid and it looks beautiful. So I think after the edit on Arch Titus, it's going to be a huge video. There's going to be like 3 people that watch that one, but it was 5 hours and 30 minutes with all silence removed. That was a long day. That was last Thursday I did that. And we went for, I think all the way to midnight that day. So we started at, I think 1 in the afternoon. I broke for dinner, and then we continued all the way up till about midnight to finish out that development. So that was a crazy one, but it was fun though. Absolute blast. I loved it. I watched the 5-hour cut beginning to end because I had nothing else to do yesterday. Well, thank you, Broke Redneck. I appreciate that. Hopefully there was some entertainment in there. There was a couple times where I was like, I don't know if we're going to make it. But then I was like, no, we're not stopping the stream until we got a fully automated Arch Linux install with just a couple answers a couple questions at the very start, and then you just hit go, and then it formats, loads, and then drops you on a fresh Arch install. I think when we did it, it was 2 minutes and 30 seconds was the final count, but I still feel like there was some optimization to be done. But the gist of it is all there. Does MicroWin retrieve product keys from the current Windows, or is there an option to put the keys directly on the ISO? Not yet. Not yet. I could definitely pull the product keys if we want. What app are you using for chat on the screen? StreamerBot. I like to host everything local. I don't like to use any services. I'm a very anti-subscription services kind of guy. But subscribe to me. Do as I say, not as I do. Oh, man. I think the Windows show guys should have said we're a bunch of nerds that will never get a wife. Oh, man. Will Arch Titus be an ISO? No, I don't really do ISOs. I don't like distributing ISOs. Obviously, distributing Windows ISOs is a good way to go to jail. Not kidding. That actually happened to some guy. And for Linux ISOs, that's when it kind of turns into another distribution. And I don't want to be another distribution in the sea of Linux distributions. I want to just be a setup script. I'm content with that. And I think that's what I should focus on. I feel like there's too many Linux distributions that are just forks of forks, or they don't really do anything other than make decisions for the user. And I don't like that. It feels bad. And most of the heavy lifting in the Linux distribution side of things really is only done by a handful of distros. And most distributions in Linux I deem worthless. I think is the exact words I've done. So I could have probably phrased that a little better, but the fact remains, it's the truth. Razzle, thanks for the prime. 7 months, all right. We'll see. The one thing I'm curious about is, was this? Oh, you know, we'll see if we'll see what the ISO ends up being. If it ends up being 12 gigs, we might have to reconfigure this. It's one of the things I've been meaning to finish up, but I think Coding Wonder already did a PR for it. I might rewrite the PowerShell functions instead of doing the new PowerShell 7 functions like we have coded in the script right now. I might revert those back to be PowerShell 5 compatible and just use DISM and start processes. I feel like that's a cleaner approach and less chances of the processes spilling into each other during this ISO creation. We'll see though. We'll see what this actually produces before getting too far ahead of myself. Windows Enterprise G. I mean, really, there's LTSC that is fine. There's other things that you can do, but I really like just sticking with Windows Pro because that's what most users will have access to. LTSC, I think, is still a very good version of Windows. When you get into like the POS, Enterprise, and other really obscure versions of Windows, I don't talk about those because most hacking groups take advantage of users that get those versions by less than reputable means. And what I mean by that is, frankly, you're going to just pirate this stuff. And when I start talking about that, and that leads you to getting taken advantage of. And that's why I don't talk about that stuff, because I don't think it's productive, and I don't want to contribute to, you know, zombie networks and other botnets out there that will use you because of Microsoft's bad decisions. Yeah, you know, and that's the gist of that. MicroWin has Windows Defender. The big thing with MicroWin is it just removes like Candy Crush, TikTok, has some sane services set up, and gets rid of like some of the telemetry. It's just the basic stuff that everyone just hates. So just imagine, probably the best way to put this into words is just imagine Windows 7 done in 2024. This is basically taking Windows 11 and making it compatible with it. That's all it's doing. Making it like Windows 7 to where you have a clean desktop, as we're about to demonstrate. So we're going to get to a clean desktop, then we're going to set our password, and then we're going to forget all this stuff. So it's going to be great. Yeah, even the official version from Microsoft feels like a bot network. True. No, I don't disable like search and other stuff like that. They just don't run by defaults. So they're there. If you want to use like Edge and those types of things, you're going to probably need those dependency services. I'm not even going to look at the password when we set it. We're just going to set it and then forget it. Right now, the ISO, I think, is like 6.5 gigs or something. What is it? Let's see. The official Microsoft ISO is 6.6. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, 6.34 gigs. This is the official one from Microsoft. We'll see what MicroWin has when we go to the desktop here. Let's see what we got. It's still dismounting it. Someone was calling me. Just a spammer. What's your stance on illegal immigration? Oh, God bless. Hello, this is Microsoft support. We see you're doing something. We don't like that. That's funny. I somehow get a greater experience with Hyperland on NVIDIA than even X11, because X11 feels jitter when compared to Hyperland. Don't know why, but Hyperland is great for my system. Yeah, I actually gotten a good... I had a good back and forth with Vaxry about this. Vaxry basically said that when it came to Hyperland, everyone should be using Wayland. And if you're not, you're just an idiot, or you don't know what you're doing. And you're just lying to people if you think it just works on X11. And for some people, Hyperland with NVIDIA or Hyperland with Wayland and all that, it works good for them. But for some people, it gives them bugs. For me, it's a little buggy, and I don't necessarily think it's all that stable, especially compared to my setup on X11 with DWM. So I would say I'm not a liar, and I would say that was my experience. But as with anything with Linux, it really depends on your hardware configuration. Some hardware will work better in Wayland, and some hardware will work better in X11 or Xorg. So it just depends on you as a person and your configuration of hardware, because it's not all created equal. Hey, the image file is correct on this one, so it looks like it did fix that bug. Can you make a web browser tier list? Oh, I think I did not too long back. Although I did see Zed, that looked like an interesting browser. It's another Firefox fork, it looks like, using like the BetterFox script. That kind of looked kind of interesting. But yeah, I hate all web browsers. There's not one I'd recommend. There's just, that kind of sucks. And oh, that's just awful. No one should use. That's like my browser tier lists. I think like the S tier for browsers would be not terrible. Ben, thanks for the super chat. In a PS script, I need to unzip and zip a docx file. It seems that Windows 10 ships with PS 5.1. There seems to be a bug in 5.1 that uses backslashes in path when it zips and corrupts. Any ideas? Can't use third party. Ooh. For PowerShell script in the end, you can't use a third party. You could just do a substitute and just grab the output, the string that it's about to write to, but before it writes and runs the compression, what you do is you just substitute the backslashes for forward slashes, and that should work. And I do believe PowerShell should still, like 5.1 should do it. Or you could just install PowerShell 7 and not worry about it too. So there's that too. All right, so we got our ISO script, it looks like. We're good to go. Let's just take this guy. Let's grab it. Roughly cut off about a half a gig. So let's just copy this. We'll toss it into our images. We'll just throw it into WinImages. Unfortunately, I do not have admin access to a target computer. Ben, if you have physical access to the computer, this method I'm about to show will essentially, we'll pretend like we have zero access. We can't even log into it. Let's just say that. As long as you got physical access, this will work. So let's shut this down. And where do we put our VMware? Let's just show it. We'll create a new one. And we'll do a new fresh install. Let's just go images, and we'll go into MicroWin. MicroWin should be right here. I did finish it, the download, right? I'm not crazy. Well, I'm kind of crazy, but Manjaro MicroWin. What? Oh, capital. Funny. All right, Windows 11. All right, let's just give it 12 CPUs. Let's go 10 gigs. I know people are like, you can't even do 10 gig configuration. It's fine. Let's give it 50 gigs. I ain't trying to take up everything. Test Win 11. Let's customize, do a bridge network. CPU, let's change the topology. We'll go 1, 6, 2, apply. Let's begin our installation. Installation will take roughly 5 minutes. And if we look over here, should we just take this? Let's put this on workspace 5, shall we? So this is the MicroWin install. You should see it very clean, and then we'll lock it down. We'll secure Windows before we recover it. Gotta watch out my terminology here. I ain't trying to get the Microsoft police after me. Yeah, I mean, Wayland is needed. I'm not like hating on Wayland a lot of times. A lot of people are like, you're still using X11. Do you just hate Wayland? I'm like, no. I mean, Wayland will eventually succeed and it will be good. It's just not there yet for my configuration. Soon, hopefully, you know. So let's push it there. SFP. I'm a huge fan of just strict fiber, man, wherever I can. SFP is just so much faster. Also, there's heat constraints, especially when you go above like a gig. Unless you're like one of those guys that use like an SFP Ethernet adapter. Well, don't ever use those. Those are terrible. But yeah, just straight SFP is so much faster. You have no heat and you can transfer crazy fast. So I love it. Do you use pfSense or OpenSense? I'm a big pfSense guy. I love pfSense. OpenSense I've used in the past and it's more open. But as far as whether it works or not, you know, it's like, well, mileage will vary. I always have had a lot better luck with pfSense and it seems a lot more reliable for me. Pulse audio or Pipewire? Still on Pulse, man. I'm old school. Mainly just because of Resolve. Resolve works better with Pulse Audiowire and Pipewire works. I don't think it even works on Resolve. So that's why I use Pulse. I do like Pipewire. Pipewire is a lot better. It's just DaVinci Resolve needs to get their crap together and make Pipewire viable on DaVinci Resolve. Tiano Core is a BIOS firmware. Essentially, it's a firmware emulation, basically. So just imagine your CMOS is emulated. That's what Tiano Core is. Oversimplified, probably a little bit wrong, but justification's about there. Have you tried DaVinci Resolve on Rocky Linux? It's amazing, stable as can be. Yeah, that makes sense. Resolve was designed for that. It was actually originally designed for CentOS, so most of the production studios are using CentOS 7, I think. Even still. All right, what are we, about 2-3 minutes in now? Should be on the desktop here shortly. Is it still hard to install DaVinci? Yes, absolutely. It's a terrible experience on Linux, most instances, unless you use Rocky Linux. Rocky Linux will give you probably the best install experience comparative to the worst install experiences, which I'm on. That's Arch Linux, and I tell you, that's pretty rough. So. Yeah, just my 2 cents. The Windows show guy wrong. Help me out. I don't know. It's actually pretty easy. We're about to do it. We're gonna lock down this Windows system and then we're gonna recover it. Can't say the H word. They might come for me. So we'll recover it. Honestly, we could hook up a Microsoft account. You could do it a lot of different ways. Domain join it would probably be the best way to lock it down. It's a lot harder to bypass when it's domain joined, but very few people will ever see domain join. Are you doing single GPU pass-through or only Looking Glass? Yeah, it's dual GPU with Looking Glass. Yeah, Raz, hack. I just can't say it on YouTube's. The YouTube police will come get me. All right, so we got our system. Actually, I might do, yeah, for resolution, let's grab, we'll grab like the VM drivers. What was that? It was about 4 minutes, 5 minutes for the full install. So you'll see like nothing pinned on the apps, bare bones here, but no changes. I haven't changed or removed anything, just made it sane, really. Let's go dark so people don't lose their stuff. Let's go download. What do we got? Vert IO drivers. And probably the easiest way. I want to say it's like Fedora org. I can't ever remember. Yeah, that's the ISO. And I want to say, yeah, this is it. We can grab this one. I'm gonna just, oh, watch out. VertIO WinTools is not commonly downloaded. Make sure you trust it. It could be a virus. Keep, okay. Oh, make sure you trust it. It's a virus. Keep anyway. Oh, God bless Windows. You are just a complete joke. But let's make you a bigger joke, shall we? Alrighty. Let's install these drivers, and then we'll have full screen, and it'll look a lot more fancy for everybody. Yeah, I know, Dark Sky. You know, I could have probably added it in the time I've sat here kind of pounding around. One of these days. One of these days. Actually, before we get there, we'll go dark mode. All right, now let's go personalize. Well, actually, let's go display settings. And now we got all these guys. Yes, keep changes. Okay. And now that we have our windows brand new, everything looks good. Now, let's change some stuff. We'll just pull up old control panel. Let's go user accounts. And let's just change our accounts. Let's see. Let's go. No, not manage credentials. Where was that? Nope. I don't want to do UAC, account types administrator, make changes. No, can't remember. What was it? Drawing a blank right now. Oh, well. I think it was control user passwords 2. Oh, I fat fingered that one, didn't I? I did. User passwords 2 usually should get me there. Oh, we'll just go advanced user management. Yeah, LUSR MGR. I don't know why I'm having a problem remembering that. So what we're going to do, set a password, proceed, and what we're going to do is just set whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll set a password, and then we're going to forget whatever that password is. Yeah, thanks, Razzo. That was it. So you can see right here, the built-in administrator is disabled. The default guest, all these are disabled. So the only account is the subscribe account. That's it. So once we log out here, we should never be able to log back into this system. Same would go if like you hook up like a Microsoft account and you can't get back in. So if we go sign out and then we go to sign in and we're like, hey, let me in. No, password's not set. Reset password. Hey, yeah, did you make a USB drive to recover it? So that's where we're at. So you're locked out of your system, whether it's a Microsoft account, a local account. More chances are it'll probably be a Microsoft account. Let's shut down our system. And then what we're going to do is earlier at the very start of the stream, we downloaded that offline NT reset tool. This tool was created back in the 90s. Still valid today though. So we go under downloads. What do we call that? Win offline reset. Sure. It's not the prettiest tool in the world, but it does work. So let's change this boot option. We're going to just enable this, push it up, and we're going to boot to it. So what this looks like. Oh, it didn't boot the ISO. Well, booey. Let's go into here. We'll pick a different one then. I thought I had another one. Let's see. What was it? Do we have NT boot? NT light. Oh, man, those are old. No. We got this. Oh, did the stream go off? Oh, no. On YouTube it did? Oh, what happened? Oh, my gosh. Let's try and load it up again. Did YouTube? See? That's why you can't say that stuff on YouTube. All right, it looks like it's back online. Maybe it'll pop back. I guess we'll find out. We'll see. For some odd reason, it went offline, so that'd be funny. Yeah, that's why we do a double stream, so there's that. Let's see. I think we have an offline tool. Where is it? NT offline. I wonder why that did not boot. Oh, it might have been a takedown. We'll see. I don't think so, though. I hadn't have shown anything. So, Office, nope. All right, well, let's just make that file again. That's strange. Let's go NT offline, password reset. We'll see if YouTube comes back or not. I don't know if it did or not. I'm gonna pull it up on my other computer here. Yeah, it doesn't look like that one came back online. Yeah, so they might have actually done something. I'll check my email real fast just to see if they sent me like a takedown. Ah, God bless. I'm so sick of YouTube. It's just run by corporate overlords now. Yeah, I can't sign in. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't see anything there. Oh, well, at least we still got Twitch. I'm just checking my email right now. Yeah, I don't see anything, so we'll see. I'll let y'all know. Yeah, YouTube is still dead. I can try it one more time. Maybe it just needed to go offline for a little bit. Let's see if it pulls up or not. Okay. I think it's receiving a connection again. There we go. We're back. We're back on YouTube's. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Anywho, we're going to just take this CD, password reset utility. Well, let's go to the boot disk. And I believe we can just grab the ISO for this. So we have this one, 18 meg CD boot image. I think we shouldn't have anything else that's needed. Now we could do a bootable USB drive. If we do the USB side of things, yeah, that was so strange. We'll see if how long YouTube sticks around, but I think we'll be fine. Now, I don't see it in here. We could also use Gparted as well. It uses NT offline reset. I wanted to just use this one though. I just don't know how if it's still bootable. You could also launch from a Linux instance and get into it that way as well. I think for today's stream, I don't want to mess around with the creation of this too much, but this is basically what it is, the offline NT reset thing. No updates have been really done to it. So this test system, what we're going to do, actually come on over here. Let's switch this out. I think we have a Gparted we could use if you don't want to mess with it. Yeah, we have, oh no, not Gparted. Or like a parted magic would work too. That's old. It's an old parted magic. Oh, I think it'll be fine though. Not much. This is pre-Windows 11, so we'll see if this boots or not. Oh yeah, this one works. We'll just rock this, guys. Thanks, Dan. Joining me over on Twitch. Yeah, actually, I think we're going to get a kernel panic. Ah, darn it. All right, well, that is unfortunate. That's okay. I'm sure I have another disk. What else do we have? And I know that reset ISO is not working anymore. And I don't think I have another parted magic. I probably need it. I think it's like $4 or something. I like parted magic though. They're usually pretty good. It's been a while though. All right. Well, never mind. We're going to have to get that ISO. We'll just create one. Okay. So get a machine to boot to USB or that. We can, I think we'll just do, best way. Hirens. Oh my God. That's old school. Yeah. I wish streaming was better on YouTube. Yeah. Parted Magic's still great. I still like the shilling them, you know, they're great. If you go, I think it's just Parted Magic, right? And yeah, how much are they now? I think it was like $3 or something. Oh, wow. Yeah, they upped their stuff. It's subscription based now. $200. What? Oh, purchase a single version. $15. Still seems kind of excessively high. It used to be like $4. Inflation. We're not doing that though. Yeah, worth the price. If you, I need a build. You know, that's another project I probably should do. Is like an password / recovery media. That's an easy thing to do. Like its own little, you know, portable environment. That would be a cool thing to do. For the future. Really, Hirens still is? Well, let's just download Hirens boot disk. I haven't used Hirens probably in 20 years or something. Oh yeah, Hirens is still rocking. So it comes with all these cool tools. Let's just grab this one. How big is the Hirens now? 3 gigs. That's gotten up there. It comes with all these tools. But the big tool that we were doing was one I just showed. Look at all these partition tools. I wonder why it doesn't have Gpart. Oh, is this not Linux based, huh? This is a portable environment from Windows, it looks like. These are all Windows based tools. Is it WinNT setup probably? Or, oh man, sysinternal suite. I remember. Oh, here we go. In NT password edit. And you also have Windows login. Oh my gosh. NT password edit is the one I've used forever. That's what we'll use. All right. Slight sidetrack. Sorry about that, but that's okay. Let's go browse. We'll go to our downloads, refresh, grab old Hirens, apply. All right, now we're going to Hirens boot CD. Yeah, this is totally using a version of Windows PE. Yeah, if I was going to do my own like recovery piece of software. I prefer it to be live environment of Linux. Yeah, because Hirens, I remember using during the XP era. I hadn't tried out Hirens in 20 years. So it probably looks a lot different from probably what I remember. Oh man, yeah. Much different. Yeah, back in the day, I want to say it was more DOS oriented. But XP itself was kind of a little bit rough around the edges too, so. Alrighty. Setting up the PE network manager. Yeah. Oh, weird. All right. So if we look at the system tools or Windows Recovery, I don't want to do that. System tools. Probably NT password is probably what I'm used to. There's probably even easier ones now that people have made it. Yeah, NT password edit is probably what it is. Oh, man. It's even simpler than that. Really? They did make it super easy now. So you can just unlock that account, change the password, set it to a blank password, save the changes, exit. Is that really it? Please tell me this doesn't work. L3, thank you for the sub. God, was that it? That's even a bigger joke than I thought. Wow. Okay, yeah, the NT offline password reset, you had to actually load it, and it was all DOS based or CLI based. This was that's wild. Oh, this is just Hirens, but I've seen Part of Magic has its own version of recovering the password and stuff. Oh, it was, but I wanted to pretend like actually I probably should shut this off. Yeah, it's a live environment, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see. Well, let's just shut this down. Alrighty. Well, let's just take this. Can I just put nothing there? We'll just remove it. Don't delete this. So sure, we'll just delete that. Boot options, we'll just boot to the disk. Okay. I'm hoping this doesn't work because that was a script kiddie could probably do that. So we still don't know the password. But now you have the admin account that's unlocked. You just sign in. I don't even have to type administrator anymore. You don't even have to do anything. It's like, hey, we see you've unlocked the administrator account and didn't assign a password. How about you just click on that and then click sign in? Oh, 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 God. So secure. So let's say you're in here and you're like, hey, okay, let's go full hacker, man. Let's go like sysdm.cpl. So what I would do, let's say you get back in here like, I don't know that account. There's that subscribe account. You know what? Let's just delete all his data. Goodbye. Everything in that account now doesn't exist. And then let's say you're like, you know what? I kind of wanted to change a few more things. Yeah, let's just pull up a control user passwords to, let's just add a new user. Let's just do a local account. Just call it secure Windows. Yeah, we don't need a password. It's Windows. What's the point? Yeah, let's remove that. Sure. Oh, I guess we could, let's just give that one administrator access. Why not? It's Windows. Super secure. All right. Neat. So then you just, done. We're done wiping out that entire account. Now we could have gone into that person's user directory and then done it that way too. That would have been sufficient. So if you're like wanting that, you can come into see users and then pick out their profile in here as well. Now, if you go into just like old school, let's just go control user accounts. Do we have, yeah, it still doesn't show it over here. So I don't know if this was changed at all. Maybe not. So maybe the creation of a new directory, or you could just come into settings. What's it look like when you're in here? Oh yeah, they want you to use Microsoft account. That's cool. Anyways, that's wild. Not only does this stuff still work, but it's even less, it's even easier. So your third grader in elementary school could do this. That is ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. Okay. Well, there's your test of Windows security and just securing it down. Oh, yeah. Hacked it. Coco, thanks for the prime. Yeah, that's pretty wild, man. That is wild. Let's just delete this guy. Very interesting. I just wanted to see like up to date. I hadn't done like a reset in that in a while. You could use Hirens. There's a lot of other tools out there. Yeah, I don't know, Din, why YouTube would. You could also use Chatterino, Din. One thing, if like, let's say you want to watch it on YouTube because you don't like Twitch ads, because Twitch ads are cancer a lot of times. But you could do like a Chatterino type situation. So then you could watch it on YouTube, but then chat on Twitch, because Twitch's chat is so much better than YouTube's. It's like not even a comparison. That's the thing I hate about YouTube live streaming is the chat back in, like the foundation of it is just awful. Where like Twitch chat, I can do Chatterino, I could do an IRC like directly from like a terminal. I could set it up on a separate screen. Oh man, there's so many great options for Twitch chat. So if you do want to use some kind of chat like this, I would highly recommend doing that. And then let's say you do like the video on YouTube, because I think YouTube does use like AV1, although Twitch now has the enhanced broadcast too. So as far as quality goes, I'm not 100%, but fun. All right, well, there you go. There's your recovery of Windows. Probably Hirens would probably be pretty easy, but honestly, Parted Magic, if you're a big Linux guy and you want more of the Linux side of things. So for a portable environment, there's Hirens is using a Windows version of Portable Edition. I personally like the Linux version from Parted Magic from a Portable Edition for recovery purposes, just because you can pull in other drives, where I know Hirens would not work with Linux drives and those types of things, where Linux-based Parted Magic would work with Windows and Linux, so you'd have a little bit better. So how did you set up a separate screen? I'm just using Elgato's prompter. So then I can actually look at the stream while I'm looking at text. I'm actually watching chat too. So it's awesome. Can you show us the Linux way? Yeah, Metacat does it. What's Metacat? This turned into a recovery stream. Metacat. Computer diagnostic toolbox. Really? Huh. How big is their USB? 21 gigs. Oh, that's an eye-watering number. Dang. What's in this thing? Ransom and malware recovery, password removal tools, partitioning and disk utilities, backup and data recovery, and more. Do they show like let's go docs. Download, manual install requirements. Huh. Probably need to go through this with a little more fine-tooth comb. I guess everybody watches YouTube videos nowadays. I like to just still read when I can. And you can't click on these cat images. Man, this website's designed like it's from the 90s and more, but you can't click on that either. Huh, okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I don't like a recovery with 20 gigs, but then again, I can't judge it until I actually load it up, but I'll load that up in like a separate environment, as I don't necessarily trust a lot of the stuff that just sits like this, but looks like a lot of passion going into it. I would prefer a little more streamlined, but you know. Oh, well, yeah, this is still going pretty fast. We're still pulling down at a good clip at 20 gigs. So 4 minutes. It better come with my data as well. I know, right? For a portable edition, I would like a smaller load. So Parted Magic's even a little too loaded, but Parted Magic is pretty light. Let's see, I have an old version of Parted Magic that's probably not even good anymore. I probably need to give them a couple bucks and load that back up. But what was my Parted Magic at? Just to play devil's advocate here. What was Parted Magic? Huh. Oh, P Magic. Here it is. Yeah, 600 megs. So not even a gig. See, I think a recovery ISO should be, less than a gig. But Hirens was 3.5 gigs, I want to say. Yeah, basically Ventoy with a lot of things. Also, it's legally done. Okay, well, that's good to know. Oh, man, you still have the 2013 version coding. Oh, that's awesome. Ooh, 0.24 gigabit. So you got about 200 down. If it's asynchronous, if that's you know, synchronous. That's not bad. If you got 200 up and down, I could go with that. Yeah, the cat one, it being 20 something, I'm like, eesh, that's a little rough. All right, so I wanted to look at this refactor. That was like the name of the stream. Now that we're about an hour into the stream, let's try the refactor of this and see what we have. So looking through this, where? I think we'll just filter this by drift user. We'll go my drift user. So here was the big one I wanted to try out. Now it's dependent on 2469. OG's PR linked at the top will refactor the themes.json, meaning his and my changes will be undone. Could you please look at fixing it or merging both? So this is dependent on this PR, which, did this get merged? All right, let's take a look at this one. Did we waste all that time trying to prove the Windows Show guy wrong? Well, I mean, I think the whole purpose of that whole password reset was just to show people it's really easy to get into Windows, even if the password's there. All you have to do is unlock the local admin account and then set a password, or not. It doesn't matter. Like, I just set it to blank and it just auto logs in when you click administrator. You don't even have to type administrator either. It just showed up and said, hey, these accounts are unlocked. Would you like to log in? And then you're just like, click, and then you're in. And from the administrator, the local admin account that you unlocked, you can take ownership of any user directory and copy the data, delete the data, do whatever you want. So if you ever do get locked out of your Windows system, it's very, very easy to get back in. So I think we thoroughly proved the, what was it? I'll pull up the original comment that we were going through. I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, this was the comment. And it was this comment was on an article that showed Microsoft's new feature update. I think it was the latest feature update wiped out. It wiped out, geez, one of the Linux boot partitions, which sucks. So you're like, okay, that's kind of ridiculous, but here we are. And there's people that are like, oh yeah, Windows is the best for everything. I didn't realize those users still existed until I read this comment. I'm like, oh, okay, he's probably just trolling though. I mean, with a name like Linux is for virgins, and then this, yeah, that's a troll move. So I wouldn't put much thought into it. I just got a good laugh out of it. Oh my god, this is the best whatever. Look at Raid Owl. Okay, now it makes sense why I failed my Linux challenge. Get out of here. Oh, that's just beautiful. That's just beautiful. I love it. Oh, what's up, Mod? Yeah, he's just trolling. That's what you get on the internet. My fresh RSS was really hard to set up. I had to get a GPT guide me through the cert PMN file and then get the fo.ini to point to the certification before it would work. Oh, man. Yeah, my fresh RSS, I don't think I set any of that up. I just made it non-secure. So you can just pop right in and then you can look at your stuff. So that's kind of how I set my feed up. Okay, so here's the one from OG. This was just basically a revamp of the themes file. So looking at this, we're setting the WinUI theme and then changing this section. This is a pretty big change, but I think it's fine. Nothing too bad here. Dispose, close, collect. Kind of like this new... This one right here is really neat on how it disposes and closes this. Because there's occasional times when you go to launch and you get a PowerShell crash. I'm kind of curious to see if this actually fixes that. It's every like 10 runs or something when you're just spamming it. So I'm probably going to be the only one that notices that, but it's kind of a nice change. As a Windows, Linux, Mac OS user, I would say that none of the operating systems is perfect, especially Mac OS, because I'm heartbroken over the fact that a powerful MacBook has terrible software in it. That's why Mac is ranked worse than Windows, and also people just didn't use Mac OS. They started saying it sucks. I mean, still, I would say Mac OS sucks, but because I actually used it and disliked it. Yeah, so that's like, as someone that uses all three as well, Mac OS is definitely on my bottom list as well. However, I do understand the fanboys or zealots, whatever you want to call them, that just love Mac OS. I've said it once in the past, and I understand the professional that just has his Macs and that's it. Nothing else. No Windows, no Linux. And all he's doing is, hey, he wants to just pull up his Mac, open it up, do his work, whether that's typically the creative types is who this would apply to. It's usually a specific, like more artsy kind of person where they're doing like Adobe Suite and that type of thing. That would be a good application for a Mac user. You also have, there's a some in the programming sphere, but that's more, programming I think is more headed towards the Linux realm than the Mac realm, because Linux I just find so much easier to set up for a programming environment and build environments in general, but probably like your front end users, I don't really consider these guys programmers, but the web, I'm going to get in trouble here. Shots fired. I'm going to get canceled on this one, but you know, designing for web pages and, you know, like Figma and front end designers and that type of thing. I'm kind of like, those are like your Mac users. Not really the real programmers. No, that would be terrible. Hopefully like Theo or somebody like that's not watching me right now. Love those guys, but yeah. So like, oh, it could be bad taken out of context, but I understand why people would use Mac OS. It's very reliable, has probably the best update cycle out of any of the operating systems, and nothing really ever changes. So you can set up your stuff, be efficient, get going. You just got to deal with the lackluster file or finder with terrible window management, which can be fixed with third-party apps like Magnet and other modifications. But, you know, it's always going to look and feel about the same way. And I get why that specific professional would stick with Mac. That's my thought processes. For music, multimedia, Mac is amazing. I agreed. And that's, I think, its strongest suit. They've always played to it as well. Is there Arch-based distro that works well with software RAID, similar to Debian? Pretty much all Linux versions can work really well with software RAID. Specifically, instead of just setting up like a LVM or something like that, I prefer to set up ZFS if I'm worried about data and I want really rock solid software RAID. I will use ZFS because ZFS is pretty much bulletproof. Can we have a playlist of your background music? Oh, I'm just using Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Yeah, and ZFS, I've tried to break ZFS a couple times, and I've never been successful. And that's why I say it's pretty much bulletproof, because if I can't break it, man, that's a if I can't break it, that's kind of impressive. I've been able to break some stuff that most people would be like, it's impossible to break that. And I usually achieve the impossible in that regard. But ZFS is one of those. Anytime I've used it, I've never actually successfully broken it. Oh, would be in a RAID 0. Oh, okay. Yeah. If you're just using like a striped RAID for performance metrics or just for hard drive expansion, and you just want as much space as possible and you don't really care about data retention, then yeah, just do an LVM. Nothing's impossible to break. I'm the proof. Yeah. ZFS is as close to impossible to break as possible than you can get, I would say. It's an amazing, amazing file system. All right, let's see. I think I really like this OG revamp. We're going to approve this, and then we will go back to the My Drift user. We're going to merge that and just kind of see what this refactor does. So we have that. Let's come back into My Drift users. This conflicts with there. And should I have merged his? I think I'm going to merge his after, and then we'll work on that. Let me see where this deviates. He's getting rid of the tab XML. He's getting rid of how I did the So the whole point of me doing it out here was to remove the dynamic elements of how things were done in XAML, but let's see what he does instead. I'm kind of curious. So we got WFUI elements, merge GPDPR bot. Oh my God, that would be terrible, Jack. Auto merges, only insane people do that. That would be crazy. Yeah, I couldn't imagine ever enabling like an auto merge, any kind of auto merge, even like a merge with conditions through like a GitHub action, still would be kind of insane. I don't think I could get on board with that. All right, so then we're grabbing the UFI elements. He is using run spaces here, which is pretty cool. And oh, that's a very good way to do it. Okay. I want to see what the performance hit to this is. I think actually this would be a lot more. I think that would be actually a speed improvement comparative to what we're doing right now on how we're drawing the UI. Because a lot of people don't realize my Windows utility is just a script at the end of the day. So everything is done and built before your eyes. As you run the script, it's building out the GUI. When you click something like a button, it's just running a like a function in a script. That's it. I guess you could say the same thing about a compiled program, but it seems a little bit different when it's compiled. Yeah, this is just PowerShell. All my utility is just one big PowerShell script that just kind of took on a life of its own. Random question. Let's say APK on Alpine to install DWM, or it'd be good using Nix environment in terms of performance. Alpine would obviously be a lot faster with an APK. So the exe that I if you want to buy an executable, what I did was I made a Rust-based executable, but really what's going on behind the scene, here, I'll just show you the code. That's actually even better. So if you really want to see what it's doing behind the scenes, I haven't actually put this in the, let's just go. I do a cross compile. I actually build the Windows utility binary inside my inside my Linux box. So don't show again. Yeah. So what I do is I actually have the cross compile set up in my Arch Linux. So I built the executable WinUtilityXE to essentially just grab and run PowerShell, the PowerShell script for you. So you never really need to update the executable, because really the executable is just a fancy wrapper. I have bundled like the icon file in here and then the build. And if you look inside the source directory and we go to main, you should see the gist of it. It's going to look for PowerShell. It's also going to look to see what kind of PowerShell is. Is it PowerShell 5 or PowerShell 7? It's going to pick PowerShell 7 if it exists, but if it doesn't, and you don't have PowerShell core, it'll fall back to just standard Windows PowerShell, which is PowerShell 5, and then launch. Now, I might redo this a little bit and change this section of the wrapper and do like a WT, which is Windows Terminal, with a PowerShell argument inside of it, so it'd make it a little more fancy for the console readout. But the gist of it is all the same. It starts a new process, it does this through the shell, and that's it. This is the whole program, really. So it's not really even a compiled program, even when you're running the executable. It's just wrapping that PowerShell functionality inside the executable. And there's and then if you look at the actual build process, if you look at this Rust file, what we're doing here is, if you run the actual exe on Windows, you'll see my little icon logo. And there's also code signing that happens as well. So there's a lot of little things about building and distributing executables in Windows, which is a bit annoying, but code signing, I get. If you ever want to distribute something through an executable form, code signing is an absolute must. So super annoying, hate it. I call it ransom, but at the same time, if you're ever going to distribute a binary of any sort, I think code signing, you have to learn it. It's annoying, but absolutely has to be learned. Can you make the executable independent? Yeah, we can, Call. So we've actually already kind of done that too, because I like to try and stay a couple steps ahead of Microsoft at any turn, because I'm always worried about, hey, what if someone comes in and tries to completely like kill the utility or kill the functionality? Because at the end of the day, Microsoft controls all of the PowerShell. If you look at like the top PowerShell projects in the world right now, I mean, we're coming up. We're about to pass the default PowerShell language made by Microsoft. We've already passed like WSL and a lot of other really big projects. And when we pass PowerShell Core, because we probably will pass it probably by the end of the year. What if Microsoft sees that and goes, you know what? We don't like this Chris Titus guy. We don't like the PowerShells being used to debloat Windows like it is. We want to kill that. Because that could happen. Let's just say they wanted to completely kill all debloaters, remove all functionality from PowerShell from the entire market. It's a concern. So I already started coding that. And we're pretty far along on this. It's a whole new project. And basically what it is, I decided this one I want to learn C# for. And we pulled in this. We updated it not too long ago. It might be broken now. But let's get pull. Pull. You probably need to look at what that is. But I want to say this does have a build. Oh, here's the publish folder. Let's pull this up. Just open this in the File Explorer. And we'll go publish, runtimes, win. Maybe that wasn't in here. Nah. You know what? I thought we could do it in... So we'll just do a .NET run. I don't feel like doing a full compile and everything. But what this does is it grabs the existing JSON tweaks file, right? I didn't want to, because everything that's done is pretty much plain text on the Windows toolbox. If you ever want to know, hey, Titus, what kind of tweaks are you doing? You can pull that up and learn right here. And let me pull up the tweaks JSON. Everything here is all done in just a JSON file. If I had to go back in time, go back like 3 years and tell myself something, I kind of would prefer this to be in TOML instead of JSON. I kind of a TOML guy. I guess I'm thankful I didn't do it in YAML. Freaking hate YAML. Needs to die in a fire already. It's stupid little spacing. Yeah, don't get me started on YAML. But JSON's okay. It's just a little weird on the formatting, and I'm not a huge fan. It's like a middle of the road format. But everything that's done, all the tweaks done in the toolbox is from this tweaks.json file. So if you're like, hey, what registry changes are you making? Well, here's the path to the registry. Here's the actual value, or the name and the value, and then the original value that Microsoft assigns. So this gets updated a lot. So what this does is everything that's done, let's say they start shutting down all these processes and say, hey, we're going to completely get rid of the power CFG command. We're going to completely get rid of doing like a set item property through PowerShell. We're going to completely just GIMP PowerShell. I don't think they can do that because of how much it's used in business, but let's say they do. What I do is I just grab that same JSON tweaks file. All the backend is already done. And we did this about a year ago because I was like just having fun. I was like, hey, let's grab this JSON. We do a serialization, basically pulling on all those tweaks. We spin them up, dissect it all, and say, hey, is it a registry key? Is it a service? Is it a task? And then for each tweak, it actually runs the corresponding function. So if it's a registry tweak, it's going to go in here using .NET libraries instead of actually using it in PowerShell. We will now just be using a C# with .NET libraries to change the registry keys using this existing framework, all the existing tweaks. So it just changes this. It's kind of crazy, right? So then when we go like a .NET run here, what ends up happening is the tweaks get run on the box. So we could easily compile this and put this in executable form. It's changing all the services right there. Did I forget to run it as administrator? I think I did. Oh, yeah. We're not in admin mode. So some of these aren't going to be able to get changed, such as probably Task Scheduler, I think, needs admin mode. And then all your applications for the debloat's happening right there. It's going through. but nothing's actually touching PowerShell. So I actually wrote this in 2 different languages. Now, obviously there's no front end for this. And I would have to design like an actual GUI because most users don't really like just staring at a wall of text. I'd argue that the wall of text is has way more information than your GUI, but teach his own. But there we go. That's the gist of it. We'll be able to uninstall all the junk from Windows Store. We'll be able to do those registry tweaks. We'll be able to do the service tweaks. We'll be able to strip down and remove all that extra crap in Task Scheduler. We'll be able to unpin stuff from the start menu if we wanted. I mean, sky's the limit. I mean, it's C#, and everything's written with just .NET. So, .NET and C#. So yeah, there's ideas. There's ideas there. I always got my brain working on that, and got that side project kind of cooking on the back burner. But just in case, you just never know. So that's my just in case. Oh, Microsoft's pulling the plug or trying to, hamstring me with PowerShell. And if it's possible to have a dual GPU with Looking Glass where 2 monitors are on one GPU and the third on the other, where when the VM is off, all 3 are on Linux and the other single is in a pass through on the VM's on. Yeah, I mean, technically it's possible, but not easy to accomplish because typically when you're passing through a GPU, you want to block list it so it gets blocked on startup and it's not read by the host operating system. So then it's free to be passed through. When you get into wanting to utilize that one GPU in both operating systems, you run into all kinds of shenanigans. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's not worth your effort, is what I'm saying. I wouldn't do that. If a business repackaged and sold your program for a ridiculous subscription charge, how would you respond? I mean, I don't really care. If you're a business and you want to repackage my stuff, have at it. It changes so quick. They're gonna have to have someone that sits there and updates it all. It's MIT based, so technically it would be in their legal rights to steal my stuff. So it could happen. I don't think it would, but it could. All right. I did want to look at GitHub desktop. What do we have? Do we have an open WinUtil? What do we have over here? Oh, we don't have anything. That's some harsh reality. Yeah, it is. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I've seen other people steal my stuff. I saw one guy do it, tried to make some money off of it, and then he encrypted. He did one thing on it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I looked at his code. He said, hey, it's open source. But then he did this really sneaky malware, basically, inclusion. But since everything's done through a PowerShell script, I was like, how is he hiding or obfuscating that code? And what he ended up doing was a base 64 encryption, which is not really encryption. It's just a way of making it look like nonsense, and then you can just decrypt it. And can't say encryption, decryption, because base 64 is not encryption, but it just makes it look weird and then obfuscates it, and then you're basically unobfuscating it to fix it. And that's basically what this guy did, is he just took my code and then obfuscated it with base 64. So is it considered encoding? I don't know. I'm just a simpleton. So that's my gist of it, the cold hard reality of all of it. I mean, that's just open source. It is? Okay. Encoding then. Not encryption, but encoding. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, base 64-D for decode, -E for encode. Yeah, thanks. I've never done anything like that, and I like to try and keep all my stuff as readable as possible. That's my mantra. I don't believe anything else on that. So well, let's finish with Drift Users PR here, the UI refactor, because I was looking through this and I think we got to check this out and merge it back. We will run into some. Oh, let's see. We will run into some conflicts here. I'm kind of curious to see what conflicts we end up with, but I do really like this. And he's fixing the margin too, because sometimes when you launch the utility, it runs off the screen. And scroll bar. Huh. Oh, fixing scroll bar visibility and making a dynamic tab margin, it looks like. And also checkbox margin as well. Okay. Well, cool. I like it. I'm going to prove this. We're going to look at the conflicts that I'm sure shall arise here. Yeah, we got that. Let's just grab this 2465 and we're going to check it out. I mean, if some company, the thing about this tool that a lot of people don't realize too, there's a reason why no big company has come by and made like a Windows debloat tool or this type of thing. It moves so fast to package this up and do a release. I'm talking like every week, Microsoft does some shenanigans to break this thing. There's always something that happens. So I'm not that worried about some big company coming in and stealing everything, because even if they tried to, then they would have to keep up with it. And that is no small feat. The reason why I'm able to kind of keep up with this thing is because of the open source nature and the contributors. If it was just me, I mean, I probably could do something, but I wouldn't have nearly as many options that you see here. It'd probably still be mostly CLI based. Because I was really the original writer of the base script that made the tweaks. The XAML integration was me. And then run spaces was done by developer Derp. Conti made MicroWin the very first initialization. Pretty much Coding Wonders has taken over all subsequent bug fixes and stuff of that, except for me spending, you know, a couple days last week kind of rehashing and just kind of refactoring the MicroWin to be more streamlined. I still need some work over there on that. But it all moves so quick. For better or worse, Microsoft, I have to love them a little bit because they always manage to screw things up. And someone like me has a job because they always screw something up. So I'm kind of appreciative in a way, even though I'm sitting here bad-mouthing them. I mean, God, I've probably made $1 million just off of Microsoft and their incompetence. Real talk. I mean, can I really be that upset with Microsoft? Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I cut my teeth mostly on Windows Server stuff. And I got to tell you, there's so much like jank and weird nuance to Windows Server that, yeah, I mean, having the difference between someone that's done Windows Server for, heck, 20 years now, which is crazy to say out loud, even longer than that, 22 years, I think, probably. About Windows Server 2000 and 2002 is probably my first flavor. And yeah, you take someone like me and then you put someone fresh that only has like a couple years of experience with Windows Server in there, that they don't even understand what's going on in the back end. You know, they might understand what the book says, or their Microsoft certified systems engineer cert if they remember anything, or they're just a paper tiger, which most young technicians are. It'd be pretty laughable to see the comparison between the two, where I could be like, all right, young man, let me show you let me show you the Microsoft jank here. What you don't know is 20 years ago, they put this weird console module in here that they didn't tell anybody about. So let's launch into that, and then we'll do these modifications, and then the things will be okay. You'll see this disappear. Or even doing like NetDom, you know, that's, you know, a lot of the replication between different domain controllers. There's a lot of jank that goes into it, I feel like, where it's almost like a dark art. So, yeah. And fun fact, it's still not patched, yeah. Oh, thanks, ID3. Or just publicly available documentation for DISM tools. Yeah, DISM documentation for tasks. You can do a lot of really cool stuff with DISM. No linutil today. We're going to do that tomorrow, I think. How much is server these days? I want to say it's still pretty cheap, right? $300 or $400. Obviously not for enterprise, but for standard, I think is probably up there. Although it's been a little bit since I bought server. I think the last one I bought was 2019, I want to say. Or was it 2016? No, I think it was 2019. I think I bought 2019 for a business. So I've been out of the game for a bit. Okay, let's go to this PR. And let's see, where is that Refactor? Oh, load more. Here we go. So if we pull this guy up, we can see we can't compile. I don't think we can. Oh, no. Okay, yes. So we have this. We do need to resolve these checks. I wonder if we could change. What's the easiest way to pull these changes into the existing one? I feel like we should undo that change we did with OG. It warned us at the very beginning about the theming changes. But now that I'm seeing this one, I shouldn't have accepted OGs. The PR 2465, integrating that in. Let's see. I'm going to check this out, and let's do a compile real fast. Oh, saying we need to what do we have? We have an outstanding. Oh, we were changing the precompile, the invoke preprocessing. We were changing it around a little bit, so we would be giving a space after. Oh, do I want to do that? I think I'm going to dump this whole branch, actually. Oh, what's going on with Cursor? I've been using Cursor for like 6 months or something now. I've actually liked it. It hasn't been bad for me. Okay, we're switching to this. Let's check to see what this looks like on a compile. Let's launch into our terminal with admin. Jump over to WinUtil. All right. Hey, Modder Paul, thanks for the raid. How y'all doing today? We just went through some Windows shenanigans at the start of this stream, and now we're into coding up a little bit of a change to our Windows utility here that we're building out. So this is a toolbox basically I created to make Windows a little bit more manageable. Let's see. I don't really see anything here. I do see change to that is fine, and the added scroll bar functionality. But if we take that, does seem better. It does seem more snappy too. Kind of like this change. We do need to redo our theming though too. Oh, thanks, Paul. Oh, you rescue victims from scram. Doing God's work. All right, man. I'm glad people like you exist. I'm trying to rescue people from Microsoft's BS. The Microsoft bloat on install. That's what I'm trying to do. Man, that's awesome. Right now we have to we're trying to rebase our main branch. I accepted a PR, and I probably shouldn't have. I might just roll back real fast. Or we could cherry pick this for developing it. Now, if I do this, I don't think... I'm going to just discard these changes real fast. Let's come back onto the main branch, and I want to kind of close out some of these excess branches. I'm going to just prune this. Microsoft has a monopoly on the operating system market. Well, it's getting less and less, you know? That's the thing. I'm just going to close these. I think these are already out there. Most of these are just orphaned. Man, these are really old too. I wonder if there's a quicker way to get through. You can see all these PRs I've stored locally. I bet you that's sitting in my Git directory. I might just blow it out and then re-download. Yeah, last I checked though, with the Microsoft, they're at about 70% market share. Windows or Linux has actually gone up to like, I want to say 5% market share. And then Mac has actually climbed a ton. What do most people use, if you see like YouTube videos talking about this, they're going to use operating system market share. And I'll know, yeah, stat counter is usually what they use. Let's go desktop. Yeah, Linux is 4.5. OS X is 14.9 now. And Windows is 72%. Now, Windows, I want to say we got all the way up during the Windows 7 era to about 96%. Let's pull the chart data from, let's go view all years, or we could do a custom year. I bet if we pull it from 2010, let's see what it was at in 2010. Yeah, Windows was at 93.7% market share. Mac was 5.7. So you're seeing quite a bit of an erosion of all of it. And then Linux is still 4.45. So Linux hasn't really actually changed that much. Although let's see, let's just pull it from January 2010 all the way to today. What does that look like? This will give us a little bit more of a full picture. Yeah, you can see it though. Let's see. So you have Windows. What was this one? Unknown. It looks like an anomaly. Although Chrome OS is on here as well. Technically, I guess you could call that Linux. Although Chrome OS is really kind of low now. It's only like a 1% now. I guess the schools stopped using it as much. But you had a little spike where Mac was over 20%, which is kind of insane. And Linux has always kind of towed the line. Yeah, looking at it, really it's just the tale of Microsoft versus Apple. Yeah, you got FreeBSD and other ones. Oh no, FreeBSD has its own percentage. Yep, all the schools use iPads now. Oh, okay. Yeah, and my daughter still got Chromebook. Yeah, the big thing that they have is Microsoft. I'd say Windows 10 didn't do too bad out of the gate, but then you look at Windows 11, which performed not as well. I wonder if there's a breakdown of different Windows releases. I'm kind of curious. Windows version market share. Oh God, 3% still on Win 7. That's crazy. Yeah, so you're seeing that, the rise and fall of the different versions of OSs, and the dotted line should be Windows 11, right? So this is what you have. Windows 10 really did pretty well. It was within almost a year that you had it cross and take over. Now, if you look over here, the same has not been true with Windows 11, which Windows 11 was not much of a departure from Windows 10. It's just a little more bloated. And a lot of people didn't like the center start screen or the center start menu, which, I mean, put it over the left or the right. It just didn't feel like much creativity actually went into Windows 11. They tried to tout like some security nonsense and some other advancements, but not really much happened, I want to say. Yeah, there's the requirements, the TPM requirements and other things too, that also kind of tanked it, which is kind of crazy. 8.1 still sitting at a 0.42. That's kind of funny. Yeah, 8 and 8.1 rough. 8 was pretty bad. The whole start screen shenanigans, and then they had the 8.1 release with an actual start menu. They're like, look at this. And yeah, you had Classic Shell, now OpenShell, I think is the project's name. Yeah. Whew. And most of this right here is probably XP point of sale systems, like old businesses that occasionally connect up. A lot of people don't realize the XP POSs, which point of sale systems is what POS stands for. Or you could call them something else. But those were actually still supported, I want to say, until the mid 2010s. I want to say around 2016, 2017, they were still receiving security patches for those point of sale systems all the way dating back to the Windows XP era. Just for the point of sale ones that were distributed. So those probably still look like they still have some out in the wild, and I bet you that's what that 0.38 number is. Yeah, I don't know if they'll listen. I guess we'll find out come Windows 12. I'll hold reservation to see what they do. Typically, Microsoft follows a one good release, one bad release, one good release, one bad release. They alternate between them a lot, looking historically. So maybe we're due for a good release with Windows 12. I'm not going to hold my breath on that one, though. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how that ends up. So if I was going to rebase this, yeah, let's just drop those changes. Yeah, I kind of want to reverse main and switch that back. I was an idiot. I didn't read properly. So I merged this one. I probably would pull the changes from this guy right here. Rewind. And what would be the best way to rewind here? Let's say, well, I guess we could do a get reset hard. So grab this guy, copy it, and I'd probably do this, and we'll grab the last commit. I don't see the monthly subscription. A lot of people are speculating on that. I just don't see that. I just don't see that becoming a thing. Because, I mean, they're already losing market share. And that seems like that'd be a little too far. You know what I'm saying? Be a bridge too far, I think. Had a little bit of a crash there. That's all right. No. It's just PowerShell shenanigans. This is normal. Pay no attention to what's happening here. All right. That looks good. So you can see those changes. I kind of want to just pull in these changes. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a git reset hard, reverting the PR from, we'll just do an update real fast, commit. Let's pull this, and I would probably push this, reset it, reverting OG's theme changes, and then we're going to pull in Drift users modifications to the theme and just overall look. It doesn't really look that much different from an end user perspective, but I feel like Drift users code using those run spaces is cleaner and more responsive way of drawing the GUI than what was being done previously. So that's why I kind of want to pull this commit in. And I feel like if we just ran back or reverted it a little bit from this PR, I'm going to let these changes propagate, and then we'll see if Drift users PR is mergeable then. Take it easy, Eric. 1 second. One change at a time here, and then we'll look at the next PR. So the PR in question right now be this refactoring code in XAML compilation. I remember when I did the initial implementation of the XAML compilation, I'm not gonna lie, that it was just bashed together. I was trying to make something that there was almost no documentation on. So I just kind of hacked it together as best as I could. That's why I really like my Drift users PR here, because what I designed, I know is shit. Like, it was just awful. Like, the fact it even works is kind of impressive. Just because you're grabbing all the XAML code to draw up a GUI, and I know what I did. I copied, just this sample file of the idea or theory of it, but there was actual no good projects in practice doing this. So I kind of had to just make something that's never been done, or very few people have ever done it. So then that's why it was written the way it was. I'm just trying to explain away all my bad code. But I do like the rewrite here. I think this is so much better than all the shenanigans and crap I was doing here. That's why I really love this, because this right here is like a hack together replacement solution for how everything's drawn in the install programs page to get dynamic columns. It's awful. I know it's awful, but it works. So, yeah. So now if we come back to the conversation, let's see if we can merge this now. You should be able to. Oh, come on. I don't know. Maybe let me refresh. So we could check it out. Man, I hate doing a merge like that, but such is life. Let's do it. Come on. What happened? I broke it. It's only a matter of time. Didn't get to my final one there. Oh, well. What happened here? Come on. I believe in you. Never mind. You're dead, man. You're dead to me. Broke the build. Yo, chatted box of donuts. Maybe. Have you seen the MIM Tech Tips uninstalled Winstall? I've been using that to get out Windows and finish. Oh, yeah. So the MIM Tech Tips one, I think, was just using an unattended XAML file. I did see something like that. We've already implemented something like that with MicroWin now. So MicroWin essentially does that. I want to say the MIM Tech Tips one was a little aggressive for my taste. Let's see. Tech Tips unattended. Here we go. If we look at the standard auto unattended, what is he doing here? So lab config, this whole section is just bypassing like TPM checks, CPU checks. Like if you have like a Ryzen first gen or something like that might bomb out on Windows 11, that bypasses it. Let's see, this guy right here forces or prevents auto detection of Windows edition and forces Windows setup to show all editions. Okay, I don't think I've ever done that tweak. I usually just give home and pro. Again, another lab config, same tweak. Then for the Windows setup, lab config again. Why is it getting done 3 different times? Maybe for the install afterwards. Somebody asked me the other day, what's the difference between auto unattended and unattended XML? Now, auto unattended is the entire setup. And then there's another one, that unattended XML, which is just the OOB or out of box setup. So unattended XAML or XML, it's not XAML, is just for the OOB, where auto unattended can like format drives and go through the entire setup process, like set up user accounts and those types of things, which unattended can too, because that's part of OOB. But yeah, there's little slight differences there. Oh, I haven't seen Theo Joe's God mode yet. I did see Zen browser though, a new Firefox one, which is good. We'll see if Firefox, I'm kind of curious to see what happens with Firefox and Mozilla after they lost all their funding from Google. So that'll be interesting, because Google was paying Firefox like 80% or 90% of all their revenue that Mozilla created was from the Google contract. And now that Google was ruled a monopoly, they can no longer pay Firefox money to have Google set as this default search browser. That's kind of wild. I wonder what the fallout there is. So we'll see. It's basically a PowerShell script that fetches a lot of stuff that God mode doesn't have. Oh, yeah, God mode was always kind of a gimmick. So it's interesting. Are you pro or against clean code rules? Nah, I don't really care. I'm a practical guy. It's like, hey, does it work? Does it make people's life better or not? At the end of the day, you can write a super clean code, but if the program itself sucks and doesn't really do anything practical or good for users, what's the point? Other than just maybe education. If your code's sloppy, but it does amazing things, then, well, that's just a better program. So at the end of the day, I don't really care what the code looks like. It's just what it does that really matters. All right, so we get that. We got unattended XML. He's bypassing to run some scripts for the remove packages. I wonder why he's removing it through a separate script. I would have bundled this in. You can actually do a lot of registry tweaks and also program removals without actually doing it through a PS1 file. Frankly, you should, especially in the specialized portion of the unattended XML portion. But it's not necessarily wrong the way he's doing it. It's just, I'm not a huge fan of it doing it this method. I like to use the integrated stuff from Microsoft instead of like a secondary PowerShell script. All right. So we're doing a registry load. He's loading this up, getting ready to change some actions, probably doing like a reg add or reg delete. We'll see what he ends up changing. Oh, he's removing edge using edge removal bat, probably the Avio script. We just redid that entire thing to PowerShell. So it actually sets the region and sets it to Ireland and then uninstalls edge the way Microsoft intended it, and then switches your region back. It's the cleanest way to remove edge instead of the hardcore removal way using like CMD. Executes the remove packages PowerShell script. That's pretty cool. Again, he's probably this PowerShell script here is probably somewhere. Where's those scripts at? We can take a look at the actual scripts and see what they're doing. Okay, they must be created down here then, further in the script. So I don't see anything yet. Let's keep moving. And then you got your out-of-box setup here, hiding wireless and account setups, which is fine. What about setting up a new user? No auto login or anything, so you're gonna be still presented with the screen. I don't know how well this script will hold up over time, just because the OOB experience is changing, the new version of Windows 24H2, and I think this script will break based on what I'm seeing from Microsoft. I set mine up specifically to change it. Yeah, we'll have to check it out, Dan. Yeah, I'm not really going to try Zen browser just because I'm not a big Firefox guy. I don't feel like changing all my crap over again. I just tried Florps last year. I'm still recovering from that. All right, so then we have this script. Which one? We should have a write happening to this. This script is going to be changing. This is the remove packages one that it's creating. And then you have just this entire section. And then this one. The problem with doing it through scripts and why I don't like doing it this method is it's really easy for it to lock up in a script. So you want to have, I have one probably 20 or 30 lines that does use a first run PS script just for some miscellaneous cleanup. But I make sure to try and keep it as minimal as possible and try to do all the program removal in the XML itself, just so it doesn't hang up at the end. The rest of this, so this is just a bulk removal using the Microsoft Store. Then looks like we're getting optional features, PowerShell command, removing or adding. Let's see what she's doing. Looks like it's just, it looks like it's changing the Microsoft snipping tool or grabbing the snipping tool, one of the two. All right. He's adding WinUtil shortcut to desktop. Source from CTT MicroWin. That's cool. I appreciate it, man. That's neat. All right, and then this is probably the CMD script for the removal of edge. Like I said, this is like, we just redid this. If I was him, I'd probably go steal my new section of edge removal to get rid of the old AO. This is how I used to remove edge, and forcing all these removals has some unintended consequences, and a lot of times it'll say it's installed and it's not, and it's easier just to change the region and uninstalling it properly than having to do all these shenanigans. But I used to do it this way. It's just not recommended. And then he's doing telemetry and scheduled tasks, setting these to service tweaks. There's a lot of service tweaks. And bypasses account restriction. He's doing bypass NRO. This actually gets patched out in 24H2. This will not work after 24H2. They're removing Shift F10 and bypass NRO, so it will ignore this key in future versions of Windows. It's a pretty cool script. Yeah. I would say it's a cool starting point, but put more of it in the XML portion of the specialized script and less of it in the PS1 script. And you can see that in the MicroWin side of things, like just to kind of showcase that. Did we ever? Yeah, it did pull it back up. Here, I'll show it real fast because this was kind of interesting. Hey, how's it going, Peter? We were just doing recovery into Windows earlier. So if the memory tech tips guy, Mem Tech Tips. Oh, geez, I'm butchering it. Sees this, I would update it and just poach some of this code from. Oh, let's see. Let's go MicroWin helper, and let's see. I strip it directly out of the ISO, just a bit different. So when I package all this up, it's actually removing. So how my script differs from that script is he's using the bulk standard ISO file, and then on the system itself, while it's installing, it's stripping out all those tools. So I prefer this method because the ISO is debloated out of the get-go, so there's not doing it live. So his install is probably going to take 10-15 minutes, where mine is going to take 5 minutes or 4 minutes because there's no packages to install to begin with. So that's kind of cool, but just two different approaches. I just want to explain both approaches. So this one is stripping out all the actual packages directly from the install.wim inside of the Windows 11 ISO, where his is doing it after it's already installed. So it's actually installing all those programs and then ripping them out before you get to the desktop. And then for my unattended, changing a few things here, but you'll notice we don't really do a whole lot with the changes here. And anything we do change, specific like run commands on the specialized component, right here you can see his specialized component and mine. What I'm doing here is actually running the command directly here. Why you want to do it here is you can run synchronously, which means the commands get executed faster. Where if you're running just a PowerShell command, and if it's not a run space aware PowerShell script, which those weren't, they're just basic PS1 files, it's going to run it in serial. So it's going to wait for 1 to get done and then go to 2 and then 3 and then 4, where this will deploy those commands differently, where it'll run the reg right here, OOB, bypass NRO, the int, all this will actually get done almost in batches. So this is going to be executed much faster than a standard PS1 script. So that's just the difference between loading it through a PS1 script and then doing it here. This is a bit more cumbersome to set up initially, like to code it. But once it's coded, it's so much faster. So when you compare his script to my script, essentially they're doing pretty much the same thing. I think his does strip out edge, mine doesn't. Some little nuance here, but for the most part, they accomplish the same thing. Run his and then run mine, my ISO. You'll notice mine installs in about 4 to 5 minutes usually, and his will probably be, if I was a betting man, probably around 10 or 15 minutes, maybe upwards of 30 minutes on online systems, depending on what happens with his OOBE. Because some of that won't get bypassed in future installs, where this one should pretty much bypass it even in future installs. So it should be pretty future-proof. Man, that was a little bit of a rant, but very cool. Like I said, I love people that are trying to do stuff. So big hat tip to him. And I like looking at other people's code too, because you can get good ideas from everybody. So it wasn't a critique or me saying his code's not good. It's just different ways to accomplish the same thing. It's just more about speed and practicality and looking at future-proofing some stuff. Well, let's see. Did I miss? Do note that Medicat relies on some pirated software. Oh, man. Yeah. It's just too big. Like I said, I kind of would make my own thing. I don't endorse piracy or any of that, so I like to kind of make everything I do open source and readily available. Do you know how to use the administration tools? What, like RSAT or something? Oh, the generator. Yeah, I actually used the generator to grab some of my code. RSAT's kind of cool, though. I don't know if people actually use that. I'm probably one of the only remote server administration tools. Kind of cool. So like if you have like a core instance installed or CLI only based Windows installed on your server, you can use RSAT to administer those servers. They're neat. Most people don't care about that stuff. Oh, excuse me. Man, all right. I wanted to get this merged. Oh, yeah. We're bringing this back. Man, I'm getting this done. All right, let's get this one. I've been so unproductive today. This whole stream was just trash. I apologize, y'all. I haven't gotten anything done. I will get this one merge done because I do like this from Drift User. So we can't do that. And I think we can do get checkout main and then merge. We should be on Drift User, user compact. Let's see. Yeah, we are. Now, if we look at get status, both modified, both deleted. Okay, that's fine. Jeez. So what I kind of want to do before we do the push, I want to see what we're doing on the full modification here. All right, needs merge. You need to resolve your current index first. Let's change this. Let's go get add dot. So we're changing themes.json, get tab XML, it's deleted, and then modifying the main script. Get status. So we have these changes to be made. And if we look at those changes, why are we merging here? This is kind of strange. Let's just exit out. I'm going to look at this. Okay. So we merge that into this branch. And then now we should be able to check out main and then merge and do this line by line. Oh, I don't know about this. Hold on to your butts. So we're changing the compile, themes, main, input. Let's see. We should see those 5 files. Oh, come on. Don't die on me now. We're right towards the end of this merge. Oh, come on. Looking glass. I got to update my looking glass. Oh. All right. Remind me tomorrow what we're going to do on tomorrow's stream. We need to refix our looking glass. I think I'm going to reset that up, grab the new RC candidate. I think it's going to stable soon anyways. And I need to go from R6 to R7. R6 is so old and it's not really that stable, even though it's the stable version. I don't know what happened here. Let's just reboot. I know, I can't help it. I just want to get one merge, one PR done of the 29 outstanding. Skill issue. Yeah. Can you update looking glass now? I'm sure you can. It's just a little weird because you have the host and then the client. So it's a little tricky. I'd make sure that I have VNC on the VM before I do anything. So I could easily just do a VNC into it and then go for it. How did you make the YouTube stream crash earlier? I have no idea how that happened, Peter. That was weird. It just stopped. Yeah, I did see Telegram see he was arrested. Man, poor guy. The guy was, I think he was Russian, and then he ended up moving to France and getting citizenship because of the restrictions from the Russian government. And then, I mean, at least he's still alive. And then, I guess, I don't know why they arrested him. I think it was some kind of failed to comply with the government or the U.S. government, even though he's a French citizen now. And then I guess the U.S. said, hey, France, you need to arrest him. And then they did. That's the too long didn't read of that entire thing. It's kind of wild. Yeah. He's also a citizen of the, oh, really? United Arab Emirates. I didn't know that. That's kind of crazy. UAE. All right. Let's see where we're at on this. I think if we pull up the GitHub, we should see the extended 47 to push. Okay. Oh, crap. Just checking all these merges. FML. So these are all the individual commits that he made. And then we'll push them. Wonder if we could consolidate this in some way, but that's okay. It's fine. We're already halfway through. It's a pretty big refactor here. A necessary one though. So this one, oh yeah. OG's PR still on main. Okay. We'll see if this breaks anything, right? I think we're fine. So, oh, we were close to the end. Okay. Ah, damn, we've still got more here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Just making sure we don't have any really old commits. This has been sitting there for a bit, so I was just checking to see. Anytime I do a rebase, it's like, I don't want to do it. If I didn't so desperately want this type of commit, I would have denied it. But Drift has been a good contributor, so getting rid of that whole file introduction of this thing, and this is like his first commits on this PR. Would have been nice if he squashed the commits for the PR, but that's okay. Yeah, I should have looked at it earlier and got it done. Oh damn, it's gonna undo all my crap, isn't it? Wait, I think it's fine. Please forgive us for speaking politics, news, and laws. Yeah, that's Peter's doing. I blame Peter. I don't really care though. As I've been online forever, it's just, you know, some people try and bait me talking about that stuff. I'm just like, yeah, I really don't care. Thing about this. Wish it was named WinUtil UI elements so it gets loaded into run spaces, but you know, it's okay. Yeah, but as I've gotten online a little bit longer, you get a little bit more thicker skin and you're just like, there's not much that screws with you. And you know what topics not to talk about. You just don't. And then everything's good. Oh, jeez. This PR and rebase is a nightmare. All right, I think we're going to just let it rip. All right, let's do it. Let's just push it. All right, let's see if we broke it. And I do want to run this thing. Do a compile. Oh. Unfortunate. there's a merge right here somewhere. All right, let's grab this. I think there's like some kind of merge that got some. How did this get left in there? I don't know. I think we can still clean this up. It'll be fine. All right, here we go. Let's just come back. I'm out of it today. All right, here we go. So this is merge. What do we change in here? So this is the current change. Here's the incoming change. I don't see the difference really. Looks almost the same. When util icon size auto. Settings icon font change. Close icon change. That's not the same variable. So checkbox bullet decorative font size. Dan. Gonna get me in trouble, man. I don't condone any form of piracy. That is my official stance. Yeah, I know. I'm struggling on this one. That's okay. I'm gonna power through. I feel like looking at these two changes, mainly because like close icon size is no longer here and it is up here. And I also like the indent better right here. I feel like that's the one to go for. Let's look at this one. Same thing here. So really, search bar text box font size 12. This is 16. Very, very little changes. And then progress bar foreground controller. And then see, that's not even over here on this. So I feel like I don't know why that's just randomly there. Anyways, what is this? Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. Anywho, and this is so changed. Load configuration files. I bet you that's in here somewhere. Oh, hell, I don't see it. Do we have a sync and dispose down here somewhere? I don't see that either. Oh, man. Oh, I think this was OG's change then. Yeah, it was. So this was during the merge. I think this was OG's. And this one right here is... Yeah, that's drift user. And then if we look at this one, do we have a blame? Bet you that's OG. We're going to go current change here too. All right. God bless. Yeah, I know exactly what happened. Yeah, I didn't wipe out. When I did that get reset hard, I didn't look to see if OG's changes made it or not. And I don't think they were, so that was my bad. I should have looked and double checked it. All right, let's see if my eyeball here, if we got some love. Oh, man. Well, it's Google for you, man. I can't control the YouTube chat bot. Yeah, we're going to reset the head back and then force push. I think when I did the get reset, so get reset, do like a hard, and let's just reset. Yeah, I screwed this all up. Let's go. So we're going to go here. Let's just grab it from here. Well, actually, this is the Refactor UI code. What's this commit? Yeah, this was OG. Based on your experience, should we install AMD drivers? Man, I don't know. I don't really like the official AMD drivers. I like to just grab them, extract the executable, and install them manually. And I'll just usually grab the driver package direct, either from AMD or like Guru 3D, and be done with it. Okay. So for the get reset... How did I screw this up so bad? Oh. Yeah. Oh, man. When rebases go wrong. Oh, okay. OG Merc. All right. Thanks, OG. Was it this commit that we're going from? Let's see. What was that? Let me look at the commit. 8DA. No, it's not this one. How far back are you going? Ah, you're going right to this commit. I don't know if that's going to be far enough, man. Oh, having a meltdown. That's what's happening. All right. Let's see here. Let me just think about this for just one moment. The problem is when during the rebase, I pulled in these really old commits, and sprinkled in here is all of these commits. So really, so you have this one I just did, that one. You have the merge main. What was this update that I was doing? Oh, it's like a nothing. All right, we'll just We'll rebase back to here. Okay. Let's do a compile. When you tell, still have the squished elements and stuff. And then if we looked at, I bet Drift users PR is still hanging out and it'll still say conflicts. Oh, no. That did get closed. Yeah, this is what I get. This is what I get for not reading properly and then just grabbing a commit and then I wanted to merge. I should have closed OGs and then merged that one. But I didn't because like a big dummy, everybody has their bad days. This is a bad day for me. Yeah, I can't merge Drift's refactor. God. I think we go back a little more. Take a break, chat with us. Yeah, it's a little tricky too. I think a lot of people, when it comes to like coding on stream, it's hard to get the focus, definitely. Chat sometimes helps. It depends on how you're coding. Certain things like workshopping features and things with chat, really helpful. Other times where you run into like these types of issues, being live is pretty brutal. When you're like, okay, let's see, what commit should I reset back to try and get this to where I need it to be? And then how do I, then I got to bring that PR back alive from killing it and then create it again. Oh man, it's just such a mess. But that's okay. Like that's just the nature of streaming too. But I love streaming. Like more often than not, I get so much more benefit from it. Yeah, today's been kind of an off day too. Even if, let's say, I had infinite amount of coffee and then just relaxation sitting in front of the computer, I don't think I would have gotten much done today too. Sometimes you just have off days and it's just don't do anything really that productive on those days. All right, let's see about that commit OG. I am going to pull that up. Let's say we have it and what we're going to do. Let's just go WinUtil commits. Let's just say we're going to this commit detail. Let's pull up that. Oh no, that's not the right one. I wanted to pull in this B58. So let's just take this commit SHA. Come on. Oh, I don't even have Chatterino over here. Fine. And then what I'm going to do. So I don't know what SHA this is. I do want to look at it though. So B58, this is update GitHub. Yeah, so this is reverting us back to, what date was this done? Looks like 8/22. Update GitHub pages YAML. So if we go back to our commits, 666 commits. Oh God, I really shouldn't change anything. We're at 666 commits. Oh no, okay. Yeah, that's pretty funny. How far back is this? Did I pass it? Oh, yeah, see. Commit C31. Yeah, so what ended up happening here is I rebased and merged the two, like Drift user and the main, and Drift user had a ton of commits. And then what it did was it took all his commits because those weren't squashed into one for the PR. And then it just like brought all these commits from like 2 or 3 weeks with all my co-mingled commits and over on the main branch and just kind of smushed them together. What a cluster F that is. All right, git reflog to get the old head commit before the fast forward merge. T4, what is it? Git reflog, and I need to learn that. Well, that sounds necessary. Git reflog. What is that? Git reflog. This command manages the information recorded in your reflogs, reference logs, hence reflogs. Record when the tips and branches and other references are updated in your local repository. Reflogs are useful with various commit commands to reference the old value or reference. For example, head at 2 means where head used to be 2 moves ago. Oh. That would undo the commingled cluster F I just caused. See, I love Git. The more I didn't even know this existed. So if we go back to here, let's see if we can't do a Git reflog. So Come on. Okay, there it is. Git reflog. And here's your reflog. This is when we merge that. This is the checkout. And, oh, this is cool. This is clutch, man. This is better than when I learned cherry pick. Reflog, not reflog. Yeah, leave it to me to screw up some English language right there for you. That is greatness. So this is micro in. This is us working on that. Then we got this checkout. This is where I screwed everything up right here. And this is where we blew up the world. Okay. So how do we rewind to head at 12? What would be the syntax for that? Chris, do you listen to podcasts? If yes, what do you recommend? I actually don't listen to any podcasts. I never have any time. Git reset hard and use the head expression. Oh, can you? There, well, it's just asshole Jippity. Git reset hard. Let's see, let's grab. So we'll take this and go, hey, Jippity, you reset hard, head to syntax. So it should just be a git reset hard. If you look here, git reset dash hard, and then just head at, and then with brackets 12. So if you want to reset your branch to the state it was 12 moves ago, you would simply just type this command in. That's kind of cool. I didn't understand until just now that you could git reset and then go by the moves where, okay. I knew Peter was a Joe Rogan fan. He's in Texas too. That's funny. I watched the most hilarious. Oh God, what was my? I'm gonna show you my YouTube watch history now that you guys are talking about that. Here, I'll chime in on this. Y'all laugh at this, and then we're gonna reset this thing. Where's my history? Let's see what my history is. It was something hilarious. Did I watch? Nope. The Theo of John. Yeah, that's funny, but no. Okay. Well, that's nothing good. Let's look at my other history. Look at me. Switch account here. Let's go over to old Titus Tech Talk. What's the history over here? There was one that was pretty hilarious. Diablo 2. Nope. It's not on here. Darn it. Junk. Anyways, it was like a Joe Rogan hilarious roast by like the driest, most sarcastic comedian of all time. And I was dying. Yeah. Because a lot of people, you know, Joe Rogan's a comedian, and then he like had like some weird quote, like there's only 250 comedians left in the world. And I was like, God bless. Rogan's a bit of an idiot. He just is. He's an everyday man idiot, but I've never been a big fan of his comedy, so it's pretty funny. Elephant Graveyard, that was it. Oh God, yeah, watch this guy's video on Rogan. It was pretty damn funny. Yeah, Elephant Graveyard, Joe Rogan. There you go. Yeah. The burn the boats fun. It was a pretty hilarious takedown. Shout out to Elephant Graveyard and the Joe Rogan bit. There was a lot of truth spoke in this video. I highly recommend it. It was pretty funny. It's the most brutal thing I've ever seen. And the sarcasm, it's just super dry and sarcastic. So if you like really super dry, sarcastic stuff, check out Elephant Graveyard on the Joe Rogan. It was pretty well done. Yeah. Oh God. There's a bit where Mark Normand roasted him. It was so funny. Yeah. It was pretty good. Some of the Rogan's takes aren't bad though. I don't like hate Rogan or anything. It's just, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, God bless. I should have started a podcast like 15 years ago. He was doing podcasts. He was like one of the very first podcasters, which is kind of crazy. So I respect him for that. Yeah, roasting's fun as long as it's done in an honest and sincere way. That's true. Some people are just trying to be mean during a roast. And that's not cool. But yeah, no, the Elephant Graveyard was a fun, like, real sarcastic, not a takedown, but it was like, you just have to watch it. It's like its own thing. All right, anyways, before I forget, let's do this get reset hard. I was just putting this off, and I was like, ugh. Unknown switch E. What? Get reset hard head at. Is it just 12? No brackets? Oh, Rock's terrible. We're just now basically just trying to come back from this. Was it tidily? Where was that? This is what I typed in. What did I get wrong in my syntax? Get reset. Where? I'm not seeing an E. Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you, chat. So this should move us 12 moves behind, and we can see that with just doing, before we hit enter here, just to verify. You can never be too, this is one thing you really don't want to screw up. Ref log, reference log, will give you all your current moves. So you're like, hey, this is back before I screwed everything up with the rebase. So the rebase went bad. So we're going to go right here, go this, switching back and resetting at 12 moves using a ref log. And then when we do a compile, when you tell, and we're back to where we started. Okay. Okay. Back 12 moves before I blew up everything. All right. Oh no. Why is it wanting to pull 61 changes? Okay. Oh, abort. Abort. What happened? Okay. Oh, I pulled. Okay. I forgot to force push. Did I just screw up my ref log? Oh, no. It's all fine. Just force push now. I haven't pulled, right? Yeah, no. So I still have to pull down the 61 changes. We're still fine. Okay, so then we just do a get, push, force, right? Yeah, I aborted the merge. I was like, wait a second, this looks all wrong. I don't want to do a massive pull of 61, right? Just like that. And when we look at the ref log, we haven't done anything. Ref log. Oh, yeah, we haven't done anything. We're moving, so back 12 moves, and then moving to head. Okay, yeah. God bless. Thank you, Eddie, for the prime. That was the abort of the merge. I think we're fine. 12 is too old. Well, when we look at the ref log, I think it was fine. So we were coming back. We were going right to where this one right here. Where was it? No, it was the one we wanted. Because when I did the... Where was it? Jeez. This one right here. Or actually, no. It was right here. This is the one. It was fine. I'm thinking. You should reset to the commits before you did the drifts users undo fix. I agree. So I think what I'm going to do here is... I agree with the force push. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Yeah. We had to do the moves. So we had to do the get moves back before, because by doing it through the commit messages, the problem was the rebase. And that rebase pulled all of drift users commits that were, there was some in there like 3-4 weeks old. So super old commits. And then they took all my commits and they just smushed them and commingled them all together when we did the rebase. And that's why we did the get reset to this specific one. So now if we do a get ref log, we should be okay. So to see it over here, let's do a get pull and get switch main, get pull. Oh, what is happening here? You have 12 and 1 different commits each respectively. So this is the old code over on the Linux side of things. What is it trying to push? Oh, shit. What the hell happened here? Yeah, 12 was too old. Yeah, you were right, OG. I thought we got it. Oh, shit. Yeah, so I was looking at the ref log and I was like, oh, head 12, that sounds good. But what we could do, what if, so here was OG's commit. Man, okay. Let's just discard this. Undo that commit. Yeah. Let's just undo that. And then we could pull it and then push it. And I think we'd have all the stuff because that was up to date before we did all the shenanigans with the PR. I feel like that's the way to go. Because this was the test path, all the stuff from Coding Wonders that we need. Let's pull. Yeah, sure, whatever. GitHub pages. What the shit is going on here? All right, we got one conflict. Yeah. Man, this has just gone wildly wrong. Oh, those are changes from backticks to MK docs. Yeah. So here's the commits, right? Real fast before I just make a mistake. Switch over to reflog again and search the correct path we want. The history's not lost yet. Reset to the last deploy now. All right, how do we reset to the last deploy? Let's just do that. Because I think the last, wait, crap. This is the 22nd. Oh, okay, this is only 4 days ago. This has all the changes. So I need to reset to this release 4 days ago, right? How do I reset everything to this deployment? Yeah, we totally broke something. So this is the commit hash right here, right? Says this commit does not belong into any report, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the commit right here, where's the hash? Oh, here it is. We'll just grab it from the top. Yeah, so the hash should be up at the top. So what it would look like is a git reset hard, and then you'd pull in all the changes from here. And this should, absolute hash direct from the releases tab, but no pull. So then you got this resets it to here, and then you would do a git push force, just like this. Just double checking. I think we fixed that, Coding Wonders, but we'll check. Let's check on that right after we do this. That's an easy fix. That was only like 3 lines. I know exactly what you're talking about, though. Commit history is basically a linked list, meaning a commit references its parents. If you looked at the PR commit in main, you'll see the parent. This commit is CFB9EDBCE. Yeah, and the whole commit hash. Why wouldn't we... Here, let's grab that. Let's look at that commit too before we go crazy here. Man, what a cluster, man. No, that's okay. We're not lost yet. What a terrible. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Been all over the place. Let's grab this commit, or let's copy this selection. And what we're going to do is come into here. Let's see what this commit is. This one was from 2 days ago. Now, we look at this history, and 2 days ago would have been the 24th. I think this commit's better. Yeah, OG, I agree with you. Good night, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I've had some crazy brain fog today, and I totally screwed all this up. Sorry, OG and Drift User. My goodness. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways, let's verify this by just going in here. We can look at the direct. I remember Coding Wonders did a patch to MicroWin. I think it was on the MicroWin helper. And if we look for it, you'll notice it towards the end here. An easy way to check this hash is go, where are you at? This was the PS1 file. And then before that, oh, maybe it wasn't in the helper. I think it was actually MicroWin setup. Where are you at? Not my day. Yeah, coding. That's what I'm looking for right now is the ISO bug. Which file was the ISO bug in? Do you remember? I thought it was in the MicroWin helper, but I don't think so. I think it was actually, man, no. Oh, WPF, invoke WPF during the, okay, I got you. WPF MicroWin, and then if we scroll down to here, oh, man. All right, should be right in here. And I want to say, Was it after create? No, I don't think it was this slow in the code. I want to say that was during expedited app removal. That's right. Okay. God bless. What a nightmare this was. All right. Yeah, here it was right here. You can see the fix. Okay. Yeah, this is the right commit. Thanks, OG. Hanging in there. So the fix here is actually, let's do a git reset hard. And then if we pull in C31, it'll reset to this one. This should be after the micro win adjustment that we just made. If we look at the code, and let's just look at WPF micro win, and what was that, 250 I want to say, or something like that. And there it is. Okay. God. Yeah, that has the fix. So git push force, wipe it out. Okie dokie. Wow. That was crazy. I almost completely nuked my project, man. Well, that's why we have it on GitHub, though. What's it wanting to pull or push? Let's just pull origin. Abort merge. Yeah. Oh, it still has all this crap over here. Can we just, wow. I mean, it's so much better. Okay. That should be back to where we were. Now I'm just like, okay, let me not screw this up again. I just undo that commit. Let's just pull the origin. Stash changes. Yeah. All right. Now, everything should be fixed. Nothing. Oh my. Wow. All right. Well, this was an amazing 3-hour long stream of me screwing up my GitHub and then rewinding, doing a ref log, going to the wrong commit. And then you go, oh crap, I just orphaned a bunch of other commits. Let's find that reference. And then going directly to it. Yeah. So we're fresh. That was something. Oh, that was embarrassing. That's what that was. Learn from my terrible mistakes right there. But we didn't go completely freak out mode and just start pulling and pushing and force pushing everything. The cool thing about GitHub is you really can't screw it up. Like, even if I would have really gone the way of the dodo here and just full send to everything, I could have still done a git reset hard and then went to the releases tab and saw this release from 4 days ago, grabbed this hash, and could have reset everything to how it was on this release. Doing GitHub with the releases, man, it just completely has opened my eyes to how amazing this is. Because even if you just nuke the world, you still have your releases that you could easily go back to. That's kind of insane. That is amazingly awesome because you can't screw it up. There's always a way back. And even when I was like, oh, geez, I could just do the move. I don't know how I screwed up the move. I should have gone 12 moves, but I went 12 moves back, which was way too many moves. So I guess the ref log, when I read it wrong. And I shouldn't have. Which tells me if I do see something or I have a commit, I need to do a pre-release before doing any kind of big refactor. So a complete failure of a refactor today. And now I want to grab in the PR from Coding Wonders again, because I did want to get that PR done. And God, let me just go back into it. Where was that? Was the because the refactor should have been down in here. I want to say it was like 240 something. If you want to do a UR, do 2624. What's 2624? Let's take a look. Update. Oh, yeah. We're about to change all this too, but yeah. Microwin created in this IO. I gotcha. Yeah, that's a good PR. Before I do any more PRs though, I want to get this refactor. That was cool though. 2618 and open one. It didn't get affected. Other ones also came out unscathed. Okay, good. 2465. Thank you. Thank you, Martin. Oh, jeez. I have no idea how I screwed that up so bad. That was crazy. So this did... Can I reopen it? Yeah, I think I'm going to take a break. I think... I'm sorry. Drift user's probably shaking his head. He's like, I'm done. Damn it, Titus. I'm out of here. Oh God, that was crazy. That was crazy, but very cool. It shows you the resilience of GitHub and how easily it is to reset back to a good starting point. Because you could have gone to the release if things went completely off the rails, which pretty much did, but we didn't need to. There was a good commit from Coding Wonders from 2 days ago. I should have done a pre-release on that commit because it fixed the micro-win situation, and we should get that back. Oh, midnight for you. Yeah, no rush, man. I mean, just, yeah. Well, I mean, this is a good example for, a good example here. Well, we can chat. Yeah, that's good. A good example of what a bad commit looks like, you know? We all have our bad coding days. This was definitely one of mine. I don't know. I was just too scatterbrained today. Too scatterbrained to function. So, yeah. Yeah, installing Linux, I think, is a little easier, too. That's one thing. Get some physical exercise. Where are those 120 pull-ups? I was 30. It's a little excessive. Yeah, I'll set up, I have a cool little camera. I did finish clearing out my garage and everything, so I'll do that. I'll do that. All right, I'm gonna break for the day. We're just gonna put this and say, hey, the big takeaway here from a development standpoint today was GitHub's awesome. Learn reflog. If you reference and go the moves, don't do what I just did. And if you have to do a git reset hard, you got to force push that bad boy after you're done. Don't do some git pull and then grab a whole bunch of other changes that you don't need. The whole point of doing the git reset hard was to switch your code to that point of time and then force push it out. And then you get back to a steady state. So, whew, man. Yeah, Martin, that was a good idea not to do the chocolate EPR. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I don't know. I think we all have good and bad days. This was a terrible day. I just woke up in a weird funk today. Oh, the pre-release contained the fix already? Somehow. Oh, that's right. I force pushed it in there, Coding Wonders, after we got off stream. So, yeah, that's it. And that's the neat thing, yeah. Even us breaking something like this on a coding stream, learning, you know, obviously the git reset hard, which I kind of already knew, but definitely needed a refresher because apparently I was like, okay, well, I get reset. Let's go ahead and fetch and pull. I'm like, no. You just did the reset. Just push it, force push. And then the ref log. Understanding the reference log in Git was pretty cool to see. Read twice, execute once, never forget. And that's one thing I was doing too. When I was seeing something, I was like, this doesn't feel right. I kind of hesitated, stopped. Definitely not good entertainment today. And when I rewatch this stream, I'm just going to be shaking my head going, oh my God, embarrassing. But, you know, so be it. Well, that's the beauty. If you put all your projects on GitHub or Git, any kind of Git really, they all can do this. And with the Git reset, man, it's just so clutch for any kind of development. And to think like some game studios don't even use Git, that blows my mind. Like just what? I think it was Pow World. They were doing everything through USB drives or network drives or something. And they weren't using Git at all for the programming of that game. I heard that and I was like, you can't be serious. So when you see even big games not even using Git for development, if you're developing anything, that is crazy sauce. Now there's other alternatives to Git that you could use, but just some type of project management. So when you have someone that walks in the morning like me, that is just completely brain dead for the day and then decides to just merge a giant refactor of a PR on when it's not all there. God, I don't even know how much of a nightmare that would be. Oh, they hosted their own Git. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So, yeah, it's neat. It's neat. Yeah, version control systems. Well, I'm pretty new to all that, so obviously. Learning the importance of them, I figured out really early. And then as I learned more, I'm like, hey, that was pretty cool. Oh, Subversion. Yeah, Subversion was before Git, but I heard it was even weirder. And Git takes a little bit of getting used to, but I really dig it. And wait till you feel the need to spin up your private Git. Yeah, maybe. Ugh. You got to really understand it before I do anything like that. All right. Yeah, some are still on SVM. I remember seeing the terms thrown around, but honestly, I never really messed with them. Never needed to. OG, me and Drift are currently working on making our changes merge into main without any problems. We'll take some time. Yeah, take your time, guys. I'm definitely not going to do any more PRs today, as I sat here and floundered around for like the last hour or two, and I was like, oh boy. Oh man. Well, I already have christitus.com. I actually have quite a few domains, so we can do a lot of crazy stuff. We could as a backup. How are you doing today? Terrible. I'm tired. Screwed up a whole bunch of PRs that looked awesome and essentially just haven't accomplished anything. But we did learn. We did learn. And that is progress. Just very slow progress. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to go touch grass, pretend like this never happened. I don't even want to edit this stream now because I just, such is life. All right, y'all. Have a great day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a lot better. It's going to be great. We'll probably do something in Linux just because that's super easy. And you can't screw anything up in Linux, right? All right, y'all. Peace.